Hello, my name is MJ Klemenko. I'm a psychotherapist, hypnotherapist, and personal coach. My website is mj@mjklemenko.com. That's mj@mjklemenko.com. I do online therapy as well as in-office therapy. I have openings in my online therapy, and that's why I'm giving you that information. I'd like to talk a bit tonight about one of the things about communication that it's very easy to do, and when it's not done, people can get into a lot of trouble. Because when people begin having discussions that get pressured or heated in any way, even if they're not heated, they're just of concern to both people, very often, and I know you've done this, I've done this, when the other person is talking, we're preparing what we're going to say next, and we're not really listening. Well, I hope I don't do it anymore, but I have done it. And I know you know what that syndrome is. It's preparing my next thing to say so I can, I don't know, win or whatever. But the reality is, if nobody gets heard, you don't get heard, and whomever you're talking to doesn't get heard either. So there's a technique, and it's called mirroring. In my office, I will start a couple out holding a pen. So let me see if I can get the pen in the camera, holding a pen like this. And then what happens is the person who's speaking is holding the pen. The person who's listening, the object is to get the pen. So the person who's listening has to repeat back to the person who spoke what they heard that person say. So if I say to someone, I'm very concerned that the price of milk is going up in the grocery store and I have 10 kids to feed, milk too. The other person would have to say to me, okay, you're very concerned that the price of milk is going up in the store and you have 10 kids to give milk to. And then I would say yes. And then I have to hand the pen to the other person. Okay, to this camera thing. But if the other person says to me, you're out of money, that's not what I said. So they don't get the pen. And this technique works very well. It's much slower than going back and forth, cutting people off and talking as fast as you can, because you really do have to listen. When you're listening, you can't prepare what you're going to say next. It's a really nice thing when someone actually hears you. I'm sure you've talked to someone that you had the feeling that they weren't listening to you, even though they appeared to be listening to you. So try this technique and see how it works for you. Say something, or actually let somebody say something to you, because then you can show them what needs to be done. Tell them you'd like to practice mirroring with them. Then they say something to you, then you tell them what you heard them say. And it doesn't have to be word for word. And don't make it a couple of paragraphs long, because the other person isn't going to be able to remember a lot of information. You'll have time because you need to keep going back and forth to say all of the things you need to say. But if you say everything you're thinking at once, the person's not going to be able to mirror you. So try that, and I'll be back. Bye.